A lot of rumors are still circulating around The Rock, so we'll see what's up there. We'll also check out what's new for Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, and more, starting things off with a bit of conflicting reports surrounding Becky Lynch and her status with the company coming into the Netflix premiere. Becky Lynch was legitimately plastered and featured in many of the Netflix advertisements. So there was a little fan belief there that Becky showing up at the Raw Netflix premiere was a possibility. A lot of fans were specifically looking at the Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan match as the prime opportunity to see a return from Becky Lynch. Rhea and Liv are the two women Becky last faced before her hiatus, so seeing Becky return to confront either one of them would make logical sense. Maybe she wants to come right after Rhea Ripley and the Women's World title, because if you think back to last spring, Becky was wrongfully screwed out of the title in back-to-back matches. So if she wants to jump back in there and get the rematch that she feels is still owed to her, it's definitely a route for sure. Or if Becky wanted to put the title temporarily on the back burner, for now, just focus her attention on Liv Morgan and Dominic, and making them pay for what they did to her. Last May, that's a route as well. But instead of a post-match appearance in return from Becky Lynch, we saw an appearance by The Undertaker, who came out to share a moment with Rhea Ripley and celebrate the win. Sure, it was a bit random, but can't knock the moment at all. It was still a pretty cool moment, especially for Rhea Ripley, who has already labeled that interaction with The Undertaker as one of the biggest highlights of her career, but with Becky not returning in that perfect spot, it had fans wondering what's going on with Becky's status and if she's still set to return. This is where the conflicting reports come into play. Immediately after the Raw Netflix premiere concluded, some reports were claiming that was originally Becky Lynch versus Liv, but that something caused those plans to be scrapped and altered, and some more reports came out after that, claiming that Becky Lynch's return was never scheduled for the Raw Netflix premiere in the first place. So things are a bit confusing there, but what is allegedly still confirmed is that Becky Lynch is now under a new contract, and her return is still reportedly imminent. There was another report that recently came out saying that the company allegedly did not want to waste all of its surprise ammunition all in one night. They want to spread the surprises in big moments throughout the first few weeks on Netflix. And if that's the plan, that makes a lot of sense as well. No point in emptying the entire surprise bin on January 6th. Spreading it out and sprinkling big moments across the next few weeks in WrestleMania season, in general, definitely seems like the much better road to take. So that's where it seems like Becky's status is at right now. Don't lose hope or start panicking. It looks like Becky Lynch is still set to return in the imminent future, and set things off there on Raw. Lots of rumors surrounding Becky's return. There's been a lot of rumors and speculation that Becky's man persona is reportedly over and done with. So seeing Becky reinvent herself again with a new persona of some sorts will be very exciting to see. Now let's dive into some topics and potential opponents for Rhea Ripley and her newly won Women's World title. After losing the title due to injury last spring, it took a long 9-month battle with Liv Morgan in order for Rhea Ripley to regain the title. Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley was a great feud from start to finish, no doubt about it, but after a feud surpasses that 9-month mark, fan fatigue definitely starts creeping in. Both women are loved by fans, but no one really wants to see this feud continuing for any additional months. Liv got her revenge, Rhea got her revenge. It's a perfect conclusion, right? There, fancy a bit scared that Liv Morgan will try invoke a rematch clause to extend this feud, but the company has quietly tossed out the former champion rematch clause. In recent years, his look at Roman Reigns, a former champion of 4 years, and he still hasn't gotten a rematch against Cody Rhodes for the title. During the Raw press conference, Rhea Ripley made it verbally known that she is moving on and done with all things Liv Morgan and Judgment Day related. So it seems safe to assume that both women are going their separate ways. Liv Morgan will not be the champion anymore. She should still have a pretty prominent role dealing with the ongoing chaos within the Judgment Day, while Rhea Ripley is ready to defend her title against all new challengers. Looking at the landscape of the Raw women's division, it is a little difficult to find a credible enough challenger. Someone that's maybe even a former world champion themselves. You got Io Sky, but she just got a title match a few weeks back, so maybe it's way too soon to revisit that. But Rhea and Io have a close friendship, so that could be a respectable opponent for Rhea down the road. Becky Lynch is obviously a very big candidate there to be an opponent for Rhea Ripley. Sure, we saw them enter a feud with each other last year, but it was only one match, so it's not like they really burnt the audience out on seeing Becky versus Rhea. It's still a pretty fresh matchup, especially if Becky is going to return with this whole entire revamped character that keeps being hinted at. The new big potential challenger for Rhea Ripley could also be the returning Alexa Bliss. Alexa might have been out of the game for 2 years, but she has a pretty good narrative to come after the world title. Alexa is a credible challenger, being a former 5-time world champion herself. And not only is she a former champion, Alexa could have that goal desperation narrative and story going for her as well. Alexa has not held a singles world title since 2018, so despite being a multiple-time former world champion, Alexa is in a pretty long gold drought at the moment, so returning after years away and wasting no time at all, just immediately setting her eyes on the world title seems like a decent route for her. What also makes Alexa an exciting challenger is her character and everything that could be going on there. We see ordinary Alexa. Do we see the Lily era? Alexa, do we see an even darker and scary version of Alexa? Will she have any ties to the Wyatt Six, or she on her own? Just so many unanswered questions and mysteries there with Alexa Bliss's character that it builds up a lot of intrigue to see how that will all play out, especially during a big potential title feud with Rhea Ripley. So Rhea Ripley's top challengers are probably all women that aren't even in the locker room at the moment, but she will be seeing them all very soon. Now let's get into some more mini updates with The Rock. We previously discussed just how destructive The Rock's Raw Netflix appearance was to his final boss persona, and how it eliminated all of the hanging story threads that were around for him. While The Rock appeared the following night again in NXT for a main event promo segment. This promo had no direction at all, but one of the biggest standout moments from it was The Rock addressing what the fans were saying about his appearance from the night before The Rock said he didn't understand because last year fans were complaining about The Rock being mean to Cody Rhodes, and how now fans are complaining because he's being nice to Cody Rhodes. So whether he's joking or not, it's a very simple concept to understand. Fans are upset that he's being nice to Cody Rhodes in current day because they spent 4 months last year building up a feud between Cody and The Rock. And for The Rock to come back nearly a year later and act like none of that ever happened, that is going to make fans that were heavily invested in the story pretty frustrated. That's not fickle fans. That's just fans that were invested in a story, only for it to be abandoned with no explanation. The Rock did try to save it, though, by saying that he's being nice to Cody because he has a plan and how he's 20 steps ahead. So that line is the last bit of hope we have to hold on to for Rock versus Cody. The Rock's WrestleMania 41 status continues to be a mystery, who reports claim that The Rock has yet to give a definitive answer on if he will be able to compete on the show or not. But looking at his recent Raw Netflix appearances, he doesn't have anything left to really do after wiping the slate clean. So it seems unlikely he will compete at the show, but reports are still claiming. The answer is up in the air. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like. If you enjoyed, thanks for watching, guys.